sometimes you might have to go out of your way to learn and ask about specific labs. And I'll give you maybe a quick and dirty rundown of some labs that can be really helpful that aren't usually on a standard panel. Number one, get your vitamin D checked, especially if you're taking something like a calcium supplement. Vitamin D isn't typically included on a standard panel, but it can be really helpful to see where you're at and keeping in mind the time of year. So for example, right now in the summer, I'm in the Midwest, just outside more, so expecting the level to be a little bit higher versus, say, getting your vitamin D in February. So this is a seasonal one that might require some seasonal supplementation. And also keeping in mind that normal does not mean optimal, especially when it comes to labs like vitamin D. I see so often where people are just this close to deficiency, and that was one of the things that really sent me packing from the clinic, is because somebody wasn't deficient yet, I couldn't make a recommendation. So long story short, vitamin D, number one. Number two, fasting insulin. So we see insulin change years or even decades before your glucose tends to change. But what are we looking at when we're diagnosing prediabetes and type 2 diabetes? We're looking at glucose, like fasting glucose, or A1C, which is a 3-month average, when in reality, insulin is probably already has been changing. So fasting insulin can be much more telling versus one single glucose number. It takes a long time for that glucose number to start creeping up. And lastly, ferritin. So ferritin, Ferritin. This is going to show your iron stores. However, ferritin is also an immune responder. So if you've got some inflammation on board, that can falsely elevate. So it's good to see trends over time for ferritin and other labs too. So versus getting worried about one specific number, looking at where things are trending. Are they going up? Are they going down? Are they staying the same? Ferritin can be very telling of what your iron is doing, because your body's really amazing and that it will pull from stores to keep that blood level nice and even. So if your provider is just looking at hemoglobin or hematocrit, that doesn't necessarily show what you have in stores.